a seldom seen 1980. Whew, make that noise. It make all the noise. This is this is a way for the churches to make some money. Rent out their lawn for parking, for event parking, you know. But anyway, this is the seldom seen 1980. This is the 1980 to 1982 Fox body Thunderbird. Not very popular. This one's still a survivor. This is a Town Landau, which means it has that full vinyl top on it. These, I used to love these when these came out. When I was a kid and these came out, I thought these were a very stylish car externally. I mean, compared to previous Thunderbirds, this thing is, you know, it's not meeting the grade. Like, I met a guy yesterday had a 68 Thunderbird. This is not in the same league as that. But for 1980, when there were different rules in place, you know, this was a very attractive, smaller car. It did, you know, it went the same lines the Monte Carlo did. It downsized a bit. The Cordoba for 1980 downsized a bit. Now this car here, its chassis is all Fox body. So for those of you that have a 1979 Mustang, a 1979 to 1995 Mustang, I should say, all of the underpinnings are the exact same. So what makes these cars so attractive is that anything that you thought that you wanted to do with a Mustang, but you didn't want a Mustang because everybody has a Mustang, you could do with this. There was a Mercury equivalent, the Cougar. There was a Lincoln equivalent, which was the Mark 7, but that was delayed until 1984, I believe. There was a Lincoln four-door, which was the Continental from 1982 to 1987, based off this chassis. There was a couple of four-door sedans. Initially, there was the Ford Fairmont in 1979, then the Ford Granada in 1981, and then the Ford LTD in 1983. All sharing the same wheelbase, underpinnings, same chassis. Those are all also Fox bodies, which means for those vehicles also, all Mustang powertrain components are interchangeable, and you can add them on to this if you wanted to. I don't know what he has in here. These had the first year they had a 4.2 liter V8, which was underpowered, anemic, not very reliable. So they ditched that, and then they either gave you a very detuned 5 liter 302, or they gave you, it's very attractive in here, you know, these are very hard to find, or they gave you a lackluster 3.8 V6, and that V6 was pretty much just copied from the Buick V6. The only difference is, if you were to look, would be the placement of the oil filter. But like I said, this here is a Fox body. I like this. It's pretty lightweight, which means for a performance car, it's pretty good. You know. But what you really want when you get one of these is to know that the entire Mustang performance catalog is open to you, no matter what you wanted to do. Clearly, the body parts won't be interchangeable, but all of the underpinnings, the suspension, the control arms, the subframe, the engine, the transmission, the radiator, all of that. This is 82, yes, it's 1982. All of that would be interchangeable with this vehicle. And for the interior, well, for that you would need one of the larger ones with that dashboard you need like an LTD2 or Granada, because the center console would be the same, the clock in the center, the LTD, the Mercury Marquis, the Mercury Cougar, for those interior components and these seats. But other than that, no, this car, it wasn't a sales success. It prompted the Aero Thunderbird of 1983, which still is a Fox body. And basically all they did was in 1983 was they just changed this rigid body style and gave you an aerodynamic body. It had the same underpinnings, and then they gave you a 5-liter, and then those are also desirable if you're looking for a performance car.